Good. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending for today's webinar. Today's webinar topic is to ESG and digital integrated transformation. We call ESG-DX. And then for the purpose of the integration is to balancing between the sustainability and profitability. So I first share my screen. The full slideshow. Okay, so I assume that you can see my presentation well. Okay, so I'm Alex Lee. Maybe you know me very well. So I'm in the interplay between the like sustainability, ESG, and digital transformation. So my intention is to recently there was a lot of the effort that you have like a balancing between sustainability and ESG profitability in the long-term goal. So I try to have a different view, like I will introduce some traditional ways like a general management to how you balance between the profitability and sustainability, but also I'm going to, based on my expertise in a long time in technology, especially the digital technology. So I'm going to bring you the different view that how you actually can achieve the kind of goal. Okay, so my agenda will be very broad, but I'm going to give you only the like essential part. Then you can see later the detail for the text. First, I'm going to like introduce about what is the ESG certainly imperative and conundrum, and then why we think about that the balancing between the sustainability and profitability. And then I'm going to talk about actually what is mean by the ESG digital integrated transformation, and then why they are important. And then I'm going to talk about the how you can make this balance towards I'm going to profitably sustainable business you can have. So there are many approaches, but the approach that I developed with my professional group, we call Vincula group, and then one of my partner Manya is in here. So we collaborate to work for developing the new approach. And then we actually made some white paper to deliver what we think about it. So I will share that idea today. And then also for the specific like application of like our sustainable digital business model to like a digital decarbonization for profitable net zero transition. So climate change risk management is very important. And so we are going to apply our methodology and framework for this important topic. Okay, so I'm going to give you the all of the aspect I'm going to talk today to help you to understand. So this is a summary of what I'm going to talk today. So you will see the detailed content later, but first that you see this summary, so you will get the idea that what the scope of today's webinar talk. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about ESG certainly imperative, and then what is meant by the conundrum. So it's like some contract like features that you have it. So for example, how about the business review is in last year that sustainable business went mainstream, and JP Morgan, so also ESG investing is moving to the mainstream. And New York Times that you know that the Reddit Frank like talk about like Brainlock CEO, still depending on stakeholder capitalism. And but the conundrum is that, for example, in MIT Sloan Management Review mentioned that CEOs who enact the like for example more like adopting like a sustainability greening policies and management in-house, and they're imperative, but significantly more likely to get fired on a poor performance. So poor performance means financial performance than CEOs who do not. So why bother try to have a sustainability management and rather than just short-term, like focus on short-term profitability. So this is one thing that we have some have in mind, like a conundrum of the even the in gender is mainstream, and then board members and executives private concern, but also like there's some problem like how you can balance between this short-term goal and the long-term goal. And also recently there was a debate like a Unilever, like for example some of the like the investors usually called active ownership, so they participate in the like a shareholder, and they blame the CEO that the reason they are not good in economic performance is because of the too much concern about the sustainability. And then so it makes some like a debate about the exactly that today's topic, how you can balance profitability and sustainability. And then it really true that if you even if you're in the stakeholder capitalism, but do we still concern about like care about the shareholder capitalism more? So this is one example. Recent publication in Harvard Law School like a journal that the research is for the like for example harsh time like after COVID-19. So it's something that financially have some problem. Then what happened was actually they see that they defer this stakeholder capitalism on behalf of this emergency situation. They more tended to be like care about the shareholder value. So this is one research, and it also is had a lot of debate about whether it is true or not. But this is just the old thing combined that the CEOs usually have to think about it. Yeah, sustainability ESG is imperative. They should be implemented in-house, but also they should be concerned about the short-term finance outcomes. So they should think about what is the best way to do it. And then the most easiest one is greenwashing. So they boast about what I've done actually, but not actually not much. So this is the one thing that have seen in recently, and then this is one actually the get attention from many other people, also from us. So we are looking at these issues, and then what happens usually then in the traditional, like for example sustainable ESG management, like usually called sustainable business practice, that we have to know about, like for example the like a proposed company. What is the like a company proposed? So usually the proposed means that first they care about like a sustainability and profitability at the same time, and also like we know about the triple bottom line, so concern about the people, planet, and profit. And then also like Harvard Business Review capture that the traditional way to balancing like the triple bottom line using the balance scorecard in the ESG era. So we are going to think about how you can actually make this balancing between the profitability and sustainability some way to systematic way. And then we think about what is a sustainable business model and how we can develop, and then how we can integrate digital technology through the like digital transformation, then how we can achieve the like a twin transition or the dual transition of this sustainability ESG and digital. So why I focus on this tool to try to combine, because we have seen we are nearly in endemic. So over the past 2 years, we experienced the one is to like exploration of a digital transformation. So like a lot of people work from home, and then they have a meeting, and then actually they really like back to like a traditional way to like commute every day and then meet in own place or something like that. So a lot of the like these phenomena will be like summarized as a digital transformation acceleration over the global. And also we can think about, we care about like climate change risk, and then other like we care about the people, society. So, and then also we have a new generation like M generation and G generation. So this new generation have a different like aspect about the care about people and planet. So we can think about these two trends, like after COVID-19 and then world economic recovering process, that what will be the two like essential part we should consider in the global economics. Is one is the sustainability, the other is digital transformation. So why not to combine them and think about it synergetically? Okay, so motivation, I explained that. And additionally, there is a listening that in the like, for example, like a business consulting and business groups, and also like some of the economic like some organization and leadership and visionary, and then also like a digital technology and digital transformation groups. They think about it that the combining ESG and digital transformation as imperative, because as I mentioned before, that the digital transformation actually accelerate, and the whole society will be digitalized and then transform, changing their culture or their business model, everything. So they think about that. For example, Accenture is a global consulting company. They researched some of the like more than 5,000 like global like executive in all of the place, and then they get like something that the new feature is that if you are doing like a digital transformation and sustainability ESG digital transformation at the same time, and then it'll be like you will chance like a 2.5 more the likely to be the tomorrow's leader. This means that tomorrow means that after COVID-19. So this is one thing that they contribute to their research. And also World Economic Forum, WEF, and then they also initiate the importance of this digital to the sustainability. And then they have some committee to research about this combining two. And then they also publish like a digital and environmental goals in the like bridging. So they develop a framework for the business action for this like a dual transition. And also there are a lot of the digital leaders like a Schneider Electric or other like a digital technology. They think about new ways to delivering their business model. So they think about like digital technology should be the part of the sustainability. So we call this is a digital sustainability. So a lot of the companies are now thinking about, they are no longer bring some like a technology or something like equipment system. They delivering their like expertise to having in both sides like sustainability and digital. So they will bring like for example, they read this sustainability based on digital technology as a new business model or service. So we notice this one. So having said actually that we think about it, then how we can contribute this big feature that because for example I'm 30 years in IT and in the digital, and also Manuel and our partners are all like at least 30 years or 40 years experience in all kind of the like positioning in the in-house company management and consulting or something like that. So we were thinking about what will be the way to combining two. And then so we develop our own like ESG framework and sustainability digital competency methodology. So we develop our own methodology. So one is to like starting from the traditional business model, because you think of a business model is a way to actually to achieve your like a financial outcome, right? So you're through your business model practice exercise, actually you will have a, like for example financial performance, right? So having said that, actually and then like with this traditional business model, that how actually they can have the digital to here, and how you can include like a sustainability here. So we have a different values to pursue in the traditional business model. So we combine everything, and then we make like ESG framework as the developing, we call SDBM, is a sustainable digital business model. So it will care about the in the traditional business model combining with the digital process sustainability. So that's one we develop. And actually how actually you implement and develop, and then how you can communicate this one. So we develop our own way to like developing this SDB ESG framework. So we call sustainability digital competency engineering methodology, because all of our consulting group Vincula members in background is engineering technology. So we have, based on our experience, for example, we have a lot of experience in system dynamic, system thinking, and also we have like a lot of experience like a digital transformation and digital, like for example analysis on like for example big data and AI analytics and IoT. And we're also like we have like a lot of experience in developing some framework methodologies. So we're combining our expertise. So we bring this methodology to make competitive SDBM development. So I will go into detail for every topic now. So this is one actually we published our white paper based on our like analysis and research. So if you are interested, and then you can download this one in Vincula Group, and if you visit the Vincula Group, and then we have a white paper, so you can read everything in here. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the ESG import, because I already explained everything. So I'm going to skim over, only touch the important thing. I think that you see that a lot of the thing, and then this is a topic in ESG and sustainability, and like SDG, sustainable goals, and climate change, and then circular economy. And then recently there was like a regulation for the SEC. They're boosting climate disclosure scrutiny. So they recently like proposed a rule to that the company in the United States in publicly disclose their like performance for how to manage their like climate change risk, and like a carbon emission, or some of their like practice. And then also we know that like a lot of effort in like developing the sustainable infrastructure in the US side is in like infrastructure bill. And then also we can know about a lot of company actually now like announced they're following, like for example like renewable energy like use, something like care about the society. And also they put in like in their proposal as a concern about the ESG. And this is one thing that you can think about is keep going on. So this is one thing that you can think about. This is really imperative, and then consider as you need to do. So I explained already this one. So here is something that I might as well talk about it. And then the point was sustainable, how we can afford. So afford means that afford by methodology, or the practice, or the policy, or the investing, or whatever. So usually consider about how actually they can go ahead. The sustainable business is a really important topic in academic and practice in both sides. And then also I explain about what is mean by the triple bottom line. So for example, the profitable solution to be the problem of people and planet and not to profit from the producing problem for profit and planet. This is the one definition about like what is named by the purpose. And so they are seeking to like have implementing in the business practice for the how to get this triple bottom line. And then I'm going to have something that what is the best way to like balancing, because in any way, because you will think about you cannot like make all things maximize. For example, you can maximize sustainability and value and then also like a financial like value at the same time. The maximize is very difficult. So the way is to optimize. So optimization means that looking for the like a best optimal solution for your business purpose. So provide some like framework or mechanism how you can do that. So this is one idea that you have like for example you have the sustainable impact and like a financial value, and then there will be something in the curve that you call trade-off frontier. So through this frontier, depending on your business, that you will have some finite whether you will more weigh on the financial value or you weigh on the like the sustainable value. So if you just sit in here, then only way you can go ahead is over this curve, and then only one way to balancing. Either you think about financial or the sustainability. But the new aspect is if you think about if you can like expand this curve to more like outbounder, so actually even if you are trade-off, right? The balancing, but in the curve have a more like a financial value, more sustainable value. So you have a more options to like increase your financial value and the sustainable value at the same time. So I call this as like a blue ocean strategy. Traditional is how the business leave you blue, that like it published 20 years ago actually. I was like researching this one because at the time I was a visiting professor at Boston University School of Management. And then I started like for example, in IT industry, what is the blue ocean strategy? I'm not sure about you know about, but at the time was what I started was actually which one is a blue ocean for the like in the future communication network. For example, that at the time you know about Skype, right? The Skype is acquired by the Microsoft. But actually at the time was a standalone company, and then there was another like a Skype type like a communication platform was a Baniji, and then I started which one with the brochure, and I make some analysis based on this brochure strategy, and then I expect that the Skype will be the winner. And then my prediction was right. There was a two choice, so 50-50 chance. But anyway, so based on this analysis, I proved that this kind of framework can apply to whether your business will be survive in the future. So this is the same idea that they call value innovation. So we are looking at the value innovation through the business model innovation. This is the idea that we're starting from the like how we actually innovate your business model to get the value proposition. The value proposition means cost down and value. Right? And then here is one good book that I summarized recently, that the Sustainability Business Handbook. They talk about what is the purpose and traditional way to manage your in-house sustainable business practice. So I quoted some like for example here, this corporate purpose I quote from here. And also you can think about like a balanced scorecard model that I'm going to talk about. You can read this recent Harvard Business Review, that how we can actually have the balanced scorecard in the new way to interpret for the like balancing your like for example you get the triple bottom line through to your like some management effort. Okay, so then I'm going to move into ESG digital transformation. And so I explained that, for example, that here is a very like interesting survey that, so it's a main driver of adoption sustainable business practice. This is one thing that why we thinking about balancing sustainability and profitability. The reason is that there are a lot of reasons that actually they adopt like sustainable business practice. So for example, the like risk management is one thing, and then the regulatory and also investors like stakeholders pressure, and then also like in the market chains and then and generation chains, and then there are more like a sustainable product service required from the market. And then also like they want to be like some intangible like a value creation, like a reputation, brand, and something like that. But here is like they don't think about this like opportunity of this implementing this ESG social practice in house will be contribute to the like a growth and revenue potential. So this means that most of people think about by doing that actually that they spend their money. So they think about this as a cost model. So this get our potential. Is there any way to like improving this kind of view that, so even, yeah, we know that there are many like out there, like you can think about like for example what kind of the value can provide, but most of them are intangible, right? Because reputation and others like a risk resilience, whatever. The for example the McKinsey, they publish some article about what kind of value of doing this ESG sustainability management, but they are all like indirect, not directly related to like a financial performance, financial outcome. So that's why that the you still can think about, even you doing ESG digital transformation, you can also think about doing that is a growth and revenue potential. So you need another like a degree of freedom you to put in here is a digital transformation. So this is the motivation that we want to bring attention, that even ESG sustainability business practice can be a growth and revenue potential by doing like including digital transformation at the same time. Okay, so the digital sustainability that I mentioned, the Gartner talk about like what is the digital sustainability, how does it drive ESG goal, and then there are many initiatives like digital sustainability recently. So digital sustainability is to using like digital technology and then more into digital transformation to like to they can like assist, for example, they can assist like the like ESG digital like ESG sustainability management itself, because they care about the data and transparency and analytics or something like that. So they can have to management, and also like they provide the transparency. And then another thing that the very like in the concern in the ESG like a community is how you report it. So you may heard about recently there are like international organization to provide like a unified scheme of the like reporting standard or something like that. So how you measure, and then you usually the performance metrics, and how you can find out key performance indicators, and how actually they can be automated. So this is one thing that the digital can bring you. So not just for the like including the digital transformation to the sustainability management, and then building the new business model to take care of everything, but just implementing your digital in your ESG sustainability management have a lot of like advantages. So we broadly call like digital sustainability. So this will be another topic, so we are going to focus on. So Manuel now preparing next one about some of the webinar of this for this topic more. And this is one thing you can think about in the WEF, they published articles. So this is very good, especially for the they think about in the top-down way to actually to the executive, like from the propose and how you make a strategy. and how you implement in practice, and how they can be implemented in the sustainable. Usually they only concern about the like environmental like aspect, but it can apply to in other like areas. And this is what I summarized about. Okay, so I explain everything. So so you understand, right? Because you want to have a like a fundamentally different way to looking at your sustainable ESG business practice, right? So I call like a paradigm shift. So the thing that I mentioned in the paradigm shift is that still this is a minority. And then you know that I also have organized a lot of the like a purely ESG sustainability event in over the past 1 year. And then whenever I have difficulties at traditional, for example, like a traditional mainstream ESG sustainability practitioners, like a position as like a chief sustainability officer in house, or the like for example in ESG investing and impact investing, sustainable investing, in many investing profession, and also there are many people like supporting, like for example supporting based on like a rating or whatever. They think about the mainstream component, but they still are not familiar with this kind of thing. So as I mentioned, some of the like digital shabby company like a Schneider Electric, or some of the like global consulting company like Accenture, Boston Consulting, or the like a Gartner or the McKinsey, they consider this kind of the concept like including like a digital as a part of the like a sustainability ESG business practice, but still they are very think about this is very like remote from them. And then only their concern is maybe the vendor supplier. There I saw that there are many vendors that are developing some software or some platform to have them to, like for example, gathering data, managing data, like in place of the Excel. They provided some like for example like a what is that the managing your like a practice as user. So they provide the software to actually the manage gathering data, manage your like ESG sustainability management. And also there are traditionally they call like the corporate like the security and health care or health and something like that, they call EHS. So security, health and environment concern is another area in industry tradition. And then a lot of the vendors there, and then they're supporting their software to companies. So they think about like that they can be assisted by them, but they never think about this as their like including in the default level in their business practice and strategy. So we need so that's why I call it paradigm shift. And then so this is why I have a lot of difficulties. For example, I invite people. This is many. I have several times I did the very similar topic, and then first I try to invite like for example in the traditional sustainability business practice, and then also like a traditional digital like a practice or digital transformation, and then bring them to attention. But still is a minority, think about. And also today's talk, I deliberately to invite the people who have like for example, the LinkedIn profile. They claim that they are interested in both like digital transformation, ESG sustainability. So I invite them, but still not think about this is serious, right? Because the reason that I'm talking about, because I'm doing a lot of the different webinar series. For example, very hot topics, like for example, recently there were a lot of the interesting in NFT or the like metaverse. Then if I invite them, they usually the 500 accept my invitation. But this kind of thing is still I think about minority. But I think that this is not minority. This is a paradigm shift, but very significant in the future. Will be changed. This is my like prospect. That this is why I'm doing this one. So So framework is to, I'm not going to detail about this one, but the basically that developing the 4 component of this traditional business model. So usually call it here is like a sustainable digital value proposition. So all the methodology actually that I bring from the traditional digital business model and sustainable business model and then putting together, and then how they actually can integrate to bring this one as like a one business model framework. So for example, the sustainable digital value proposition means that in it at the like a front end, so there will be front end with the contact with the society, people and customers everywhere. So how you can actually provide your value. So value means that there is not only the like a traditional economic value like a product service, also like a sustainable value. So you care about your people and planet and society. So this is the one thing that you have in one component. And the other is a digital value creation. So assist by digital. So there are many things like, for example, that the digital technology give you the efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and transparency, everything. So they can be including also like they can be a tool for the new innovation. So they can be included in the digital value creation, sustainable value creation. By doing actually you can also think of like a reduced use of your resources, and then also reduce use of the electricity, less generate carbon emission, and also like in the upstream that the contact with your customer service and the less use in the logistics, and also like for example the more in the reuse and circulate your like a product, or you usually call like product life cycle management. So this all bring by the digital technology. You can have like a circular economic business model implementing in your sustainable digital value creation. Also like a digital operating model. So operating model means that there is every day of the practice like to bring your value. So you know about a lot of the like in the digital like intelligent workflow process automation and many other like a digital operation tool you can employ. And most importantly that the digital value capture. So value capture means to monetize your create value through the profit formula. But in the you have a more option to like design your profit formula. So one example is a digital subitization. So digital subitization is one way actually to bring your value and then get the monetize through your value, your capture, and then you have a like a different profit model and the more like a sustainable and the more profitable business like a value capture will be enabled like in the like a different way to actually monetize your service and product. Okay, so this is one a little bit technical, so I'm not going to tell much about it because this is actually our consulting service, and then this is the depending on your business and your proposal, everything. So this is we just write down in generally what we are going to do, but I recommend that you read our white paper about it, and then I will skim over. So this the white paper explain about how actually develop and how you implement. So usually the business case is very important and deployment, and then also like how you communicate, right? Because communicate, disclosure, and something like this. So these 4 type of the thing that I consider in the white paper. So I recommend for details. Okay, so finally, we are going to apply our like a framework method for the digital decarbonization. This is for a specific topic. The lot of company and institution and in nation wide that they are concerned about it. And mostly for the like the thing that I interested in first, how you support to your sustainable business means that how you actually support your net zero transition. So how you can have this profitable net zero transition through our methodology. So this is just one idea to introduce you that, for example, that the digital decarbonization is one way to digital sustainability. So particularly, they bring digital technology to decarbonize, to make reduce your carbon emission and then eliminate your carbon emission. So this is like a crucial to you get achieve your net transition, like a uh, your project, like your goal, by within like a year 2030 or 2050, whatever your migration path, you will have an advantage to bring this digital decarbonization. So for example, that the particular some digital technology we call digital twin. I'm not going to talk about detail, but there's some kind of digital technology. For example, here is one thing that digital technology only can, for example, global emission reduce by 50%. Maybe this is optimistic way, but this number may be not correct. But this is the one thing that we can think about. Digital is a good option that you can reduce your global emission. So there is a very good tool to reduce your carbon emission. And also recent trend is environmental 4.0. And also recently, there are a lot of the effort of the sustainability, like a sustainable development and sustainability, digital sustainability, put into like I'm calling like a sustainable industry 4.0. So in the global economics, there's we know about the like a fourth industrial like revolution. And then I'm thinking about in the future, maybe the one more thing that put in into sustainable like a digital like a sustainability will be the one part of the industrial evolution. So I'm expecting that in the future will be like a sustainable industry 4.0 will be the mainstream. So this is one actually I particularly get the example that in the MIT Sloan magazine that they bring attention that actually the for example like heavily carbon generated industry like for example like some of the manufacturing like cement or steel manufacturing they spend a lot of the energy and generate a lot of the carbon. Also like heavy transportation like a trucking or whatever, they generate a lot of carbon emissions. So that kind of like an industry that the concern is that they need to like a transition to like a low carbon economy, so low carbon way to like bring their service or they bring their like generating producing their product service. So here is the idea that including this kind of like a digital sustainability and including digital transformation to your like a decarbonization effort. So one thing is like a repricing and then transform, redesigning, migrate, aligning. And then I give you some example that like, for example, you replace by the electric truck. So you make like a cost-effective resource use development and then makes the competitive mobility as a service and then smart operation or something like that. So so you can see detail because I'm going to share this one in recording. So you can see later the detail about I'm not going to detail about it, but here is one example that in the traditional like business sector or industrial sectors, there is like a carbon emission is great, and then the cost you are matter that how actually the reduce down your carbon emission still will be cost effective. And also additionally that including that our effort like how you bring your profitability in your, so bring your digital transformation into this like a decarbonization and then net zero management. And then you can have like not only reduce the cost down, but you can have have a more profit. So that I mentioned like a value innovation, so cost down and value up. So here is one thing is I put everything that here. So I recommend you read this one in writer. Okay, so here is the one. If you're in the like for example in the climate change risk management side or the net zero like a transition in house or in the investment organization, then the two things that you have in the internationally known is the first is how you migrate to your natural transition. So here is one science-based transition. So I just summarize everything in here. And the other is to how actually to manage your risk and how you report. So we usually call it the standard reporting framework, TCFT. So they provide all kind of like how you actually the risk, what is the climate change risk, how you can manage it, and how you can actually to link to your financial performance, and then how you can actually disclose the outcome. So the thing that I'm putting here is that the advantage of digital is to like putting together and then if you are practicing in this area, is a heavy like a manual practice required. Is a lot of the effort is needed, and this is why there are a lot of the outside the consulting company consultant like having your business. But the beauty of digital technology is many of this process can be automated. So for example, like analysis, gathering data, and then scenario building, risk management, inventory management, and then management like a strategy, that all thing can be supported by the digital. So this is one thing that digital like a sustainability, digital sustainability apply for this climate change risk. So this is one I want to have your attention that why we think of digital. So my final comment is that the sustainability ESG and digital should be go hand in hand, and then we should be consider that digital as a part of the essential part of the sustainable ESG business practice. And then it's time to think about the like expert and professional and both sides should be gathered together and should be collaborate. Okay, so this is the one that I want to deliver today. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes to have a Q&A session, or whatever you have a comment, you can talk about it. Manuel? Yeah, he's one of our like a group member, and then we both have a same board. Like we have both have like in ESG sustainability expert and also in the digital transformation experts. So we share a lot of idea and work together. So
thank you, Alex. And really glad we're working together with Vincula. You touch on a very complex problem, and here is what I can notice actually more from my dialogues with my students in sustainability at Cornell. And what I glean from the questions, there is still a gray area where a lot of people are asking, okay, so is sustainability going to cost money? Is sustainability cost a lot of money? I'm not talking about a few nice reports issued by CSR, but can a company really develop a sustainable strategy, a triple bottom line, and actually end up to create value, not to pay for sustainability? And I think you said that in a number of slides in your presentation, it is very important, the approach to a sustainable company. I call it a digital transformation, and I call it an ESG transformation or a sustainability transformation, because really these are going, as you said at the beginning of the presentation, at the core of the stakeholder capitalism. And the stakeholder capitalism doesn't say the company should be less profitable, doesn't say the company should be spending a lot of money on the environment for the sake of being green, for the sake of being on the top of an ESG list. The companies have to embed actually sustainability, and this process has to start top down, has to start from the board of directors, has to start from the C-level suite, from the executives, which they have to change not only the direction of the company, but also the culture. And you mentioned digital twins in the presentation, but I'll mention something else. And what I'm going to mention, it's actually designed for sustainability. And if you look at your smartphone, if you look at most of the devices you use, for instance, electronic devices you use, are designed for usability, not sustainability. What does it mean, usability? It means they are compact, they are very well designed to be small, but there is no design thinking about how to disassemble the product. There is no design thinking on how to recycle the product. And once you change the way of the design group to think about the product, now you end up actually with a positive. You end up with better products, which are environmentally better or safe. They are socially more responsible, but you don't have to spend a lot of more money to design or to assemble this product. You have to think differently. And this think differently came across really very well in your presentation. I don't have a question, it's more of a summary, I gather.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know that because I'm also like I'm patent attorney, right? You know that. And then it's a generally accepted. Everybody know about is innovation, you know, like management, like all the innovation, new innovation coming from different industry, right? So what this means that like a different view, even if it's the same thing or the same like a phenomena, right? How you look at the phenomena in a different view is we have a like a creative about new innovation, right? So that's why that actually I'm thinking about like for example like I think that it's funny, like for example I was also like a senior executive. I was like from senior executive in a big company and the startup CEO or whatever, so I can oversight every aspect of the business. And then you know that, but it is, I know, but it's each division or there's something that divided by their function, like for example is R&D or what is marketing or whatever. But particularly for this sustainability, actually, I surprised that actually that they try to do like a set the barrier, right? They have sustainability management traditional way. We think about what is a traditional way, like the measurement, whatever, what is like a water saving, what is electricity, carbon emission, scope 3, whatever. We know about everything, right? And then they don't think about the how even the same thing, how you can think about it a different way. Maybe but I'm really disappointed is that because I never seen in the like a top executive in the board member try to oversee in a like even if top down, you can think about, they know about oversee about the R&D and every aspect, but why not the sustainability also they think about like different view, like you and me, right? Because we have a different industry and different focus, and then later we look at the sustainability ESG, and then we found a different view, right? So this is one, but over my 30 years experience, always that the starting is difficult. You know, even in the technology, you need an adoption, like early adopter has a problem, something like that. But I have a like a positive thinking that in the future that what I have talked about today will be sometime will be mainstream, right? So more and more people, and then I'm going to ask about to call me like a sustainable chief digital officer in the future, right? So every aspect in the business, R&D or whatever, like marketing, there should be sustainability, right? So sustainability should be go hand in hand in every aspect of a business. Also that in other way, like a digital will be the like going hand in hand in every aspect of the sustainability. That's what I'm thinking about.
Absolutely, yeah. So it should start as a new way of thinking about sustainability, and that links it very well with digital transformation, because in digital transformation is another transformation process, and not many articles actually talk about the way to transform people and to transform companies, because they have to start with transforming people and the way, the culture and the way people are asked to think about products, about environment, about social. And then the people deliver, as you said. Innovation is not a linear or is not a unidimensional process. You can innovate to improve processes, you can innovate to improve quality, you can innovate to improve products, you can innovate to reduce cost. But if you ask to innovate for sustainability, this is not an unrealistic request.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. You know that I think of it because I'm recently I'm publishing a lot of things that I have done, and then I'm going to be make, for example, the title of my title will be more sexy. So one of my article title that I'm going to publish is like, for example, digital sustainability for ESG 2.0, something like that. So to get the attention, so making like a traditional ESG sustainability, but bring the digital like in the sexy world, like what is meant by the ESG 2.0. Like I just said, like a different view, like looking at the ESG, like in the digital, we have a lot of like Web 2, Web 3, or the 5G, 6G. We know about the numbering, right? The new numbering means a new paradigm, right? So I'm going to have that trial that bring the traditional way to bring the sexy word like 2.0, or the, for example, that I mentioned about the industry 4.0. Everybody know about it. Like a sustainable industry 4.0, something like that. That's what I'm thinking about. It's funny thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any question or comment? Okay, so I will start my recording.